It's no real secret that Chris Wilder signed more than his fair share of loan players in the 24-25 season. But did any leave a lasting memory? And if they did, is there any chance of getting them back? Well, let's find out.
Olé, olé, olé. Olé, olé, olé. Olé, olé, olé.
Welcome to the Sheffield United way. And today we're going to be taking a look back at our 7 loan signings over the course of the season. We signed 3 in the summer and 4 in the winter, even though it felt like so many more. Did it also feel a little bit desperate, signing what ended up being 5 defenders and 2 wingers? Possibly, but some of them definitely go back to their parent club with credit in the bank. Now, who were they? And should we try and get them back on loan or even sign them now we've got a little bit of money? Our first signing was Souttar, and I have absolutely no doubt that if he was fully fit right now, we would be moving heaven and earth to get him back in a red and white blade shirt. He was wonderful, made us very difficult to score against, and was just a man mountain at the back. The problem isn't his ability though, it's of course his fitness. I'm absolutely sure you already know this information, but for anyone stumbling across this video that isn't a blade, on Boxing Day, Souttar tore his Achilles tendon and spent the rest of the season on the sidelines. He might have gone back to his parent club Leicester, but we saw him back at Bramall Lane a couple of times last season, so he clearly enjoyed his time at the Blades. We loved him, but the fact that I've not seen one rumour linking us to Souttar makes me feel like that injury may carry over into next season and we might not see him until October, November, maybe even December. So if his rehab goes well and he's back to full fitness, this is an absolute yes. However, I can't see that happening. So unfortunately, I think this signing is going to have to be a big fat no. Next up is a pretty cut and dry one, as Alfie Gilchrist was bombed out by Chris Wilder halfway through the season and only made a handful of appearances after the loan signing cavalry came in January. I think he's a mid-table championship player, in all honesty. So I think that shows that he's not at the level that we need him to be right now. However, that is just my opinion. Thinking from a Wilder standpoint, and if he couldn't get into Wilder's plans last season, there's no chance he'll be coming back. So for me, it's a pretty confident thumbs down. Later on in August, we signed a young man, Rak-Sakyi, who came with a lot of admirers and expectancy. After a slow start with no goals in 9 games, Jez scored 2 against Luton and kicked off his Blades career. Just a side note, as I've been doing research for this video, I've just realised that on FlashScore, he was given a 10 out of 10 rating against Luton. A little bit over the top, lads, but okay. He continued to score goals and assist goals, but not regularly before he picked up a muscle injury, which kept him out for 6 games, seeing the Blades only win 2 of those games. He was super inconsistent, but you can clearly see that there's a very good footballer in there. He missed a lot of the running and wasn't even named as a sub for the playoff final, so Wilder either didn't trust him or he wasn't fit enough. But is he worth another roll of the dice this season? Well, firstly, I think Palace expected him to be one of the best players in the Championship last season and were lining him up to bring him into the first team. But for me, he's not really proved to be worth the risk just yet. I do think he'll get another Championship loan, but I don't think it should be with us. Don't get me wrong, he could be great, but I think Wilder will be looking elsewhere, as would I. So for that reason, I'm out. Jez was the last of the summer loans, so let's move on in to the winter loans. Firstly, seeing the Messiah, Brereton Diaz, come back after his heroics the season before. Could he repeat his fantastic form he showed in the Premier League the season before? Unfortunately not. Ben Brezdog, or just plain Brezeldinho, couldn't show the same levels as he did previously at Bramall Lane. Bearing in mind that Big Ben scored 6 big Premier League goals for us last season in half a season, compared with just 4 in the second half of this season. I think we all expected more, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. Maybe it was his lack of fitness or his form coming in from Southampton. Maybe it was Wilder playing him out of position on that right-hand side, or maybe he just didn't gel with his new teammates. Do I think he's shown enough to be re-signed? No. Do I think his stock's fallen and therefore we could possibly sign him at a knockdown price? Maybe. So for this reason, I'm going to give it a tentative thumbs up, but only because of the reasons just spoken about. Next up, Hamza Choudhury. And from the off, I'm going to say a big fat yes, but realistically, will this happen? Possibly not. He wasn't perfect, but showed the heart that we love as a blade, can play multiple positions, and seemed to enjoy his time at the Lane. I think the stumbling blocks are that Leicester won't want to loan or even sell him to a promotional rival, and they may even want to keep him. I'll put my thumb back up because I do want to see Hamza Choudhury back at Bramall Lane, but I can't see Leicester letting him go to a rival. Harry Clarke was signed 2 days after Hamza on the 29th of January, suffered an injury against Leeds on the 24th of January, was kept out for 7 games, returned against Plymouth, and then aggravated his injury and returned back to Ipswich. A disappointing spell that didn't really have too many highlights. Similar to Hamza though, now Ipswich are back in the best league in the world, they might be tempted to give him another go. But we're talking about Sheffield United right now, and I don't think he did enough for us to warrant even giving this a second thought, so it's a big thumbs down from me. And finally, Robert Samuel Holding. Rob was the final piece to the puzzle, or so we thought. We assumed that he was brought in to fill that 6'7" Aussie hole that was left in United's defence, but he wasn't able to muscle his way into the team on a regular enough basis. He went back to Palace having only started 4 out of 18 games and obviously will have gone back a very disappointed man. Jack and Anel played well enough together, but I can't help but feel Rob Holding had so much more to give. Now, all that being said, I still rate Rob Holding, but for me, we didn't see him enough to warrant making him our number 1 centre-back target. And at the end of the day, it's his choice where he goes. And if he wouldn't want to come back to Bramall Lane, I would completely understand it because, we didn't use him well enough. That being said, he's out of contract at Palace, and I do feel like his future lies in the Championship at the ripe old age of 29. He could be a diamond in the rough for next season if we were to sign him, though. We need a centre back or two, so I'm going to put a tentative thumbs up if we can work the numbers out, if he wants to come back, and of course, if Wilder's actually going to play him this time. So that's me all done, ladies and gentlemen. My thumb has certainly done the talking in this video, but realistically, I think maybe a couple of these could work for us, but in all honesty, I don't see one of these players signing for Sheffield United next season. If we can sort these out and they're not going to take a massive amount from the wage bill or in transfer fees, I'd like to see Rob Holding, Brereton Diaz, and obviously Hamza Choudhury too. And finally, the most important thing, let me know who you would like to see at Bramall Lane next season from the list that I've just given you. Let us know in the comments. Let us know what you think. And let's be realistic about it. Who you think realistically we should attempt to sign if that was your money. Thanks for watching, ladies and gents. I'll see you in the next one.
𝗚𝗿 𝗚𝗿 𝗚𝗿